Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the Caiden Cowger program, broadcasting from West Virginia. It is great to have you with us. So I tell you, Hillary Clinton not doing well at all. Just a little after the basket of deplorables remark that she made at a private fundraiser referring to half of Trump supporters. She is now having this health crisis where she claps at the 15th anniversary of 9/11 right there at the memorial in New York City. So absolutely horrible. And guys, I tell you, this is really just not good for Hillary. I can't figure out if she was trying to do an impression of Raggedy Ann or maybe she was trying to impersonate the Scarecrow from Wizard of Oz. But anyway, it was just horrible. I mean, when you watch the video of her, she's leaning up against this barrier, and then as the Secret Service agents right beside her, her knees start to bow inward, then buckle, and then they completely just go out from under her. She's being dragged into this black van. I mean, it is just, it's amazing. In the video that I'm watching here, it shows where her legs just completely bend, they collapse, and they buckle a little bit. Looks like she's trying to do the Harlem Shake, or maybe that Silento song. Come on, break your legs, come on, break the law. Yeah, that song. Yeah, that's, there you go. Yeah, that's, I tell you, it's really, just a horrible situation. And Fox News was covering the story as it was unfolding, and they showed her being escorted out. And I remind you guys, originally we were being told that she was just overheated. That's all that it was. Hillary was just nothing to see here. Move along. I tell you, and then we find out, no, she wasn't overheated at all. She had pneumonia. And you even wonder if it's pneumonia. I mean, all the conservatives, including myself, are like, yeah, there's more going on than they're letting us know, because there are some people that are suggesting she could have Parkinson's, that she could very well have some type of disease where, she loses her balance, she's having seizures. I mean, it's just a bunch of stuff that's adding up. And there have been a lot of people that have been talking about, the little head nods that were going on and the odd facial expressions. There have been some people, and this is horrible to say, I understand, but there was one allegation that perhaps she has syphilis from all the women that Bill has been with, and it's doing brain damage. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities in the Clinton family as to what could be going on, and no one really knows except Hillary and her husband, and of course the close members of her staff, like Huma Abedin, the wife of Anthony Weiner, who is separating here shortly. But anyway, guys, so that's what we have going on. All the conservatives, including myself, are like, yeah, they're not letting us know what's truly happening here. And guys, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Hillary is completely unqualified to be president of the United States on a policy basis and on a health basis. I mean, you have Donald Trump's personal physician telling, everybody, yeah, this guy will be the healthiest president ever in United States history. And then you have Hillary Clinton. If Hillary Clinton is elected, she could very well turn the White House into a nursing home. I'm just saying it like it is. Okay. So it's really just a horrible situation. But one thing that I do want to tell you is that this is not the first time that Democrats have been trying to cover for a presidential candidate. Because if you remember, and this is, some older people that listen to the program, if you remember FDR, when he was in the White House, they would not allow him to be portrayed as being a cripple. They would not allow him to be photographed in a wheelchair. There's, I think, only a few out there of him, but they would not allow him to be photographed sitting in a wheelchair because they didn't want anybody to understand, including, we were in Civil War, or not Civil War times. We were in World War II, and they did not. What did I say? Civil War for? My gosh, Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, don't just forget about that part. Okay. Anyway, apparently I didn't get enough sleep. But anyway, we were in World War II when FDR was president, and part of the reason was that they didn't want the enemy to look at FDR as being a weakling, and they didn't want America to look at FDR as being a weakling. Well, you have the same thing going on here with Hillary Clinton, where they don't want Hillary Clinton to come across as being this little weak, pansy, and they are trying to cover for her because they want her to be the first woman president, and she wants to be the first woman president too. So that's what we have going on. Basically just this big cover-up. And if you watch the video, it's just looking worse and worse for Hillary Clinton. And, guys, I'm going to tell you, if we end up getting Hillary to be the next president of the United States, I hope you do realize that she might not be president for 2 terms. I mean, if her health continues deteriorating, it's hard to tell what will happen. I mean, her vice president could very well take over, Tim Kaine. That's right. We'll have Tim the Jesuit. That will be the president of the United States. And just to tell you how good of a Catholic he was recently quoted, Breitbart had the story, as to where they ended up finding out that Tim believes that the Catholic Church needs to evolve on same-sex marriage, and is stating that they will evolve on same-sex marriage. And I'm just going to tell you, if the Catholic Church evolves on same-sex marriage, the Catholic Church will become a cult. It will become a cult, because when you start, and some people debate that anyway, and I'm not going to, even go there, but the thing is that when the Catholic Church starts endorsing same-sex marriage and starts saying, hey, that's all right, it's all hunky-dory, we're going to go for it, they are further changing what the Bible teaches. Because, I mean, guys, I don't believe all Catholics are going to hell, but if you end up not living your life properly, and you believe that the only thing that you have to do is just go to confession, and then you can turn around and start sinning again, as many Catholics that I know do, then, you need to take your faith a little bit more seriously. Because, I mean, there are some good Catholics, but there are also a lot that do not, fully live the life. They're religious. They believe that going to church is fine, but when it comes to alcoholism, when it comes to, sin overall, they think they can just go to confession, it's all done, and then they can go out and just do it again. I'll give you an example, all right? Like Mardi Gras. They're in, New Orleans. Okay, when you have that going on, what is that? Okay, we're going to go sin. We're going to just go out and we're going to have a good time. We're going to sin that day, and then the next day we're going to go to confession. That's not the way that Christianity works. But when you have the Catholic Church that is now openly saying, yeah, sin is okay, you can have sin in your life and you'll be fine, and they make that part of their faith, I mean, that legitimately turns Catholicism into a cult. So I truly hope that, that Tim Kaine is wrong, even if that is his political opinion, because if you remember, the news media was really making a big deal. Could we ever have the first gay pope? Oh, that's really wonderful. Yeah, let's start praising that and putting that out there. So guys, that's the thing, and you're going to see the biggest split of the Catholic Church if that would ever take place. But anyway, guys, that's just one thing that I wanted to bring up there. So Tim Kaine is going to be the next president of the United States if, Lord forbid, something would happen to Hillary Clinton, and she would get it. So either way, we are stuck with dimwits in the White House, and hopefully we do not get Hillary Clinton in there, because, I mean, guys, I'm going to tell you, regarding this entire thing on her health, you have conservatives that are like, she is completely lying, she is not telling the truth, there's something more going on here. You have Democrats that are doing the same exact thing. They know that there is more going on than Hillary is letting on. Okay, because, I mean, you have the seizures, you have the weird facial expressions that she's been making when the balloons fell. It sounded like Little Bill. I mean, my goodness. It's just so absolutely, just pathetic. Looking up the balloons. That was the oddest thing that I'd ever seen, especially, even when Tim Kaine came out. It looked like, like they were trying to be cute. You notice that? Because Hillary was, like, clapping, and she obviously sees Tim Kaine coming out from the corner of her eye. She's, like, clapping. Oh, yeah, this is my event. All for me. Thank you. And then all of a sudden, she turns around, and here comes Tim Kaine, pats her on the back, and she's, like, all surprised. Oh, how did you get here? Who are you? Oh, it's so great to see you. And I'm sorry, it was faker than I can't believe it's not butter, okay? It was so absolutely pathetic. It made me want to barf. I think I did barf. But it was just the most, it was the worst thing I'd ever seen. I mean, that was worse than the 1990s Macarena that the Democratic Party did. If we get Hillary Clinton as the next president of the United States, this country will go so far downhill. It will be beyond repair. I mean, guys, I'm going to tell you, there have been times when I've done this show and I've thought, I've been talking about politics for a long time. I've been talking about current events for a long time. And sometimes it'd just be nice to do a show where everything is just going great. Have a country where we don't have all these political catastrophes going on, and I can just talk about positive stuff, and we can just move beyond all of this, garbage regarding the liberal left, and we can get back to normal, and I can start having a show that liberals love and that conservatives love, and everybody gets along. Yeah, liberals are never going to love me, but anyway, because as soon as they find out you're a conservative, they want nothing to do with you. But you get the idea, which is where I'm, talking about stuff that doesn't necessarily always have to be political, just, heartwarming stuff. Right, like a grandmother and a grandfather that have spent 80 years married or whatever. That would make them 120? Yeah, anyway. You get the idea. Just talking about wonderful stuff on air and getting away from politics sometimes. But yeah, can't always do that because we have way too much stuff going on in the news that you need to know about. And it's my job as a political commentator to tell you about it. And that's what I've been doing for the past going on 6 years now. December 5th will mark my 6-year anniversary. And, so if Hillary Clinton gets in office, I'm going to keep doing what I do. Hopefully be able to offer some ounce of, guiding light out there. But the thing that I'm concerned about, and I've told people this myself, is that I am a tad bit worried about the future of conservative talk radio if Hillary Clinton ends up becoming the next president of the United States. Because you have some of these Cruz supporters out there. Ted Cruz just came out and said that if he was joking on the late night show, on one of the late shows. I think it was with Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Kimmel. He was with Jimmy Kimmel. And he said, if Donald Trump was behind me and I was in my car and I saw him in the backup camera, I wouldn't know which pedal to push. And everyone laughed. Oh, that's so funny. So he joked about that, about getting rid of Donald Trump, but when it came to Obama, he just said that he disagreed with him politically. So he dislikes Obama less than he dislikes Donald Trump. So there you go. That's Ted Cruz for you. This is a guy that I, really liked, and I've said on this show that I, really admire a lot of the policies that he stood for. But one of the things that I will tell you that I did find quite disturbing is that he had no problem going to the late night show. He had no problem going on Jimmy Kimmel. But you know where he didn't go? He didn't go to the Value Voter Summit. Values Voter Summit. There in Washington, D.C. I was at that, and I'll tell you a little bit about that over the next segment. But I was at Value Voter Summit in Washington, D.C. That's why I haven't been here for the past 3 show days. I haven't been able to produce anything because I've been over there, and hopefully we'll be able to get a radio booth or something next time. But I was doing coverage for Cowger Network, and we'll be getting the videos up on the Roku channel eventually. Hopefully sometime this week we'll be getting that up very soon. But I have a lot of neat stories to share with you. But anyway, I was there, and he had Senator Rick Santorum that was there. He did a great job. He had various other people that were speaking at this thing, and they just did absolutely remarkable. You had Louis Gohmert, representative. You had several other senators that were speaking at this thing. And Ted Cruz wasn't there. And I'm thinking, Ted Cruz won Value Voter Summit last year in the little poll that they did. So why wouldn't he show up to this thing? Why didn't he make an appearance? He's too busy on the Late Show. So, it really just does go to show you, okay, if this guy's an evangelical, why wouldn't he be attending the biggest evangelical event in the country? Because he was invited to it. But, yeah, didn't bother to come. And, as we continue going on, he just is, a lot of the remarks that he's making and that he has made, they're not Christian. I'll put it that way. They are a poor reflection of a Christian. The I am better than thou. That is not a good attitude to have. And I'm sorry, but when you start acting like that, rather than reaching out to people, rather than trying to lead them to the Lord, rather than trying to be beneficial to them and lead them to the faith, you just look down upon them. I'm sorry, that's not what true Christianity is. That's definitely not Christ was like. We are to reach out to people, to witness to people, not to act like we're better than them.
Fighting liberalism one lie at a time.
You're listening to Caiden Cowger on the WCNR News Network.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
Goldman Sachs and HSBC recently purchased 7.1 tons of physical gold. What do these bankers and mega money managers know that you don't? They're expecting the value of gold and silver to increase. That's why you need our friends at Capital Gold Group. Capital Gold Group offers gold and silver for direct delivery and will not be undersold. Call now. Call 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-824-9762. Again, 800-824-9762. That's 800-824-9762. 800-824-9762.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls, start saving thousands in interest and fees, and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1132. 800-826-1132. That's 800-826-1132. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends at Capital Gold Group. Capital Gold Group is a company that deals with investing in precious metals such as gold and silver. They've been in business for over a decade and have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. They've been featured on Fox News, Market Watch, Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal, CNBC, Reuters, Fox Business, Financial Times, and Forbes magazine. If you're interested, you can call at 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108. They also offer various ebooks on investing in gold, such as the Definitive Gold Guide. So once again, if you're interested, you can call 1-800-932-4108. That's 1-800-932-4108. All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends at the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja is a company that specializes in slashing debt. They deal with various debt problems such as tax debt, debt settlement, debt consolidation, student loan debt, credit repair services, and bankruptcy. That is 1-800-826-1132. Now, their company, the Debt Ninja, operates on a national level and have worked to fight the IRS for many of their clients. If you're interested, you can call at 1-800-826-1132. That is 1-800-826-1132. Once again, that is 1-800-826-1132. Due to a decline in the economy and major car companies filing for bankruptcy, American Auto Protection has announced an extended service plan that is now available to the general public. This plan reduces the cost of auto repair expenses. Maximum Car Care was created to assist qualifying car owners with lowering repair bills of cars under 130,000 miles and under 12 years old. Maximum Car Care works to limit the expense of auto repair bills, roadside assistance, rental coverage, and towing. Their number is 1-800-824-9762. That is 1-800-824-9762. Once again, that is 1-800-824-9762. Maximum Car Care is a proud sponsor of the Caiden Cowger program.
You're listening to the WCNR News Network.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say
All right,
it.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Caiden Cowger program. Great to have you with us. So I'll tell you some of the stuff that happened while I was down there at the Value Voter Summit. I was in Washington, D.C., and we left out of here on Thursday of last week. We got back on Sunday. And so the event went from the 9th through the 11th. Just an absolutely fantastic event. And I got to meet John Voight. And I tell you, John Voight, he is the nicest guy. He's a fantastic guy. John Voight, he's played in a lot of Hollywood movies. What I best remember him from, the movie that comes up in my mind, was in Nicolas Cage film, National Treasure. He served as Nicolas Cage's father, played that role in the film. He's played in a lot of murder movies, but that's just the main thing that I remembered him from because I used to love that movie when I was a kid. And watched that, and that's what I remembered him from, and got to meet him. He was just a great guy. Talked with him for a little bit, got a picture with him. My father also got a picture with him, and it was just really neat. And as I was standing right beside him, this was the coolest thing. All of a sudden, he says, hang on, Sean Hannity's calling me. So we're all having a conversation with him. And he says, hang on a minute, Sean Hannity's calling me. So he picks up the phone, starts talking to Sean. He said, well, Sean, I can't talk right now. I got to go. Bye. And hangs up on him. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh. So I was wondering, all right, do I grab the phone to get Sean Hannity's phone number, or do I, no, I'm kidding. Or do I wait and get a picture with John Voight? So I waited because I would rather have that picture with John Voight than, try to quickly memorize Sean Hannity's phone number before getting pulled away by security. But no, but I was there as a press correspondent along with another guy with us, and we were covering the event and got to meet John Voight. He was just a really great guy. One of the people there knew who I was and said, "Oh, this is Caiden Cowger. This is next Rush Limbaugh." And it's like, "Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that." And John Voight said, "Yeah, that's well, good. We need more young guys like him." So that was really just wonderful meeting him. He did an absolutely phenomenal job at delivering a speech introducing Donald Trump. Got to meet Kirk Cameron from Growing Pains, former atheist, converted Christian, dedicated his life to creating, pro-Christian films. Just a great guy. Another guy I got to meet, and this is this was my favorite guy to meet, I have to say. In all the years that I've met a lot of people, had a lot of opportunities in my life, and I've really appreciated it. But one of the guys that best guy I've ever met had to be Dr. James Dobson. I met him at Value Voter Summit. It was after one of the events was over. It had concluded, and I was getting ready to go back to my hotel room. And Dr. Dobson was in the hallway, along with one of his, I'm assuming, producers. And there was only like one or two people around him, so I thought to myself, yeah, I think I'm gonna stick by and shake his hand. So I waited, introduced myself, and he was just really fascinated by it, and by a lot of the stuff that I was doing on the radio and everything. So that's really humbling, especially have such a wonderful guy like Dr. James Dobson take an interest in what you're doing. And I just told him, I listen to your show every morning on my way to school, right there on AFR. 91.9 WBHC out of Elkins. And because at first I just said, yeah, I listen to your show every morning. He said, oh, really? You do? Seriously? He couldn't believe I listened to a show. And I guess the reason why is because I'm this young guy, and here I'm listening to, I'm spending my mornings with Dr. James Dobson. So I'm listening to him because sometimes I flip back and forth from his show in WVAQ, which was a station here. That I listen to from time to time. I used to listen to a morning show on there. But yeah, I always predominantly listen to Dr. James Dobson. Loved his show, Family Talk. And as I was listening to it, I think it was it was Family Talk. That was the name of it. And because I was thinking, focus on the family. He's not with that anymore. But yeah, he was with Family Talk. And I listened to that show every morning. And he was started asking me questions. Oh, really? What station do you listen to it on? And I was going through the call letters and everything, telling him. And he said, well, that we have an app now, so you don't have to listen to that. You can just listen to our podcast. And I said, oh, it works perfectly in my morning. I listen to it on the way to school, and get all the programming I need right there. And he was really pleased to hear that. And he's really just an absolutely humble guy. And I talked to him a little bit, gave his producer my card, and he's they're both just really, really gracious, nice people. Got a picture with him, and we'll have some of those pictures up on the Facebook page. We'll go on facebook.com/Caiden Cowger program if you want to check him out. But it was just so great to meet him, and I'll tell you what happened, because that was my favorite experience that I've had meeting somebody, because when I met him, he was extremely humble, not full of himself at all. And I just never met a more humble guy than that. I was so impressed, so just amazed by how humble this guy was. What you see is what you get. I can't praise this man enough. And I'm so honored and blessed to have had the opportunity to meet the guy. But anyway, the day goes by. And next day comes, all right? And I'm in the hotel lobby. And eventually we're getting ready to head on out. Dr. James Dobson comes into the lobby, and he sees me. He's at the other end of the lobby, sees me. I'm sitting in one of the chairs there. And I kid you not, because I'd ran into Dr. Dobson earlier, a few other times after that, because we'd passed each other in the hallway. I'd say hi to him and stuff. But anyway, I was sitting in the lobby, and I kid you not, Dr. Dobson sees me and walks all the way over from one end of the lobby to me just to shake my hand and tell me bye. I mean, guys, that is so absolutely amazing. That is a truly humble gentleman, and that is a guy that has been used by God for a long time, and you can tell it. That man is anointed, and he's really just a sweet, sweet guy. And I can't speak, enough good, stuff about him. Just a wonderful guy, wonderful human being. Definitely been used by God very well. But another person I got to meet was Kimberly Guilfoyle. She's with the 5 on Fox News. She was another great person to meet. And I'll tell you what happened there. There was a few people who knew me, who was happened to be around her. And all of a sudden I heard Quinn, who's one of the writers at CowgerNation.com, who's also standing there, said, "Caiden, get over here. Caiden, get a picture with Kimberly." So I'm, okay, yeah, sure, I'll get a picture. And so I come over, and he starts telling Kimberly, "This is Caiden Cowger. This is the next Rush Limbaugh, founded Cowger Nation Media Network." And I, introduced myself a little bit more. I said, "Yeah, I do radio, and I'm on a few stations, on 4 stations. We're on, WXMB Myrtle Beach, 2 other stations in the South, WJHC there in Florida, then working on another one." And she said, "Oh, that's great." She said, "We need more like you. Need more Rush Limbaughs, young Rush Limbaughs." So I got a picture with her. She was another wonderful person to meet. And also I met Kristen Fisher from, she's from Fox News. And at first, because she looked really familiar, and she's a Fox News correspondent. You see her from time to time on there. And she was covering the dinner afterwards that was honoring Dr. Bill Bennett. And we were stationed right beside of her, met the, great cameraman, but it was just really neat to meet the both of them. And Kristen's a really nice person too. And so guys, it was really just an absolutely fun time. Oh, another guy I met, Al Robertson. That is Phil Robertson from Duck Dynasty, his son. And apparently he's on, he calls him Tom Roten. We always call him Rotten here in West Virginia, but he's been on Tom Rotten's show. Here in West Virginia, and it's on one of the stations down in the southern part of the state, I think. But anyway, it's a talk show here, and we were talking about radio a little bit, and he said, "Yeah, maybe I can come on your show too sometime. That'd be great, because we're on Tom Roten's show." I said, "You mean Rotten? No, Roten." And he said, "Yeah, we're on his show. Been on his show a few times. So yeah, I know West Virginia pretty well." He said, "I really like it there." So that's really just neat having the opportunity to meet him. Now, Al Robinson is the one that's beardless, the beardless brother. So, and that's what one of the kids said at school today. He said, "Yeah, Caiden, that's the one that no one knows anything about." And I said, "Oh, really? Well, I just had about a 15-minute conversation with him, so I know who he is. I know about him." So that was fun.
Some say he's the next Rush
So that
Limbaugh.
was really fun.
I tell you, this kid's got 90% of Rush's venom with only 10% of the biomass.
You're listening to Caiden Cowger on the WCNR News Network.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
Goldman Sachs and HSBC recently purchased 7.1 tons of physical gold. What do these bankers and mega money managers know that you don't? They're expecting the value of gold and silver to increase. That's why you need our friends at Capital Gold Group. Capital Gold Group offers gold and silver for direct delivery and will not be undersold. Call now. Call 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls, start saving thousands in interest and fees, and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1132. 800-826-1132. That's 800-826-1132. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-824-9762. Again, 800-824-9762. That's 800-824-9762. 800-824-9762.
All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends at the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja is a company that specializes in slashing debt. They deal with various debt problems such as student loan debt, tax debt, debt settlement, debt consolidation, credit repair services, and bankruptcy. That is 1-800-826-1132. Now, their company, the Debt Ninja, operates on a national level and have worked to fight the IRS for many of their clients. If you're interested, you can call at 1-800-826-1132. That is 1-800-826-1132. Once again, that is 1-800-826-1132. All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends at Capital Gold Group. Capital Gold Group is a company that deals with investing in precious metals such as gold and silver. They've been in business for over a decade and have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. They've been featured on Fox News, Market Watch, Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal, CNBC, Reuters, Fox Business, Financial Times, and Forbes magazine. If you're interested, you can call at 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108. They also offer various ebooks on investing in gold, such as the Definitive Gold Guide. So once again, if you're interested, you can call 1-800-932-4108. That's 1-800-932-4108. Due to a decline in the economy and major car companies filing for bankruptcy, American Auto Protection has announced an extended service plan that is now available to the general public. This plan reduces the cost of auto repair expenses. Maximum Car Care was created to assist qualifying car owners with lowering repair bills of cars under 130,000 miles and under 12 years old. Maximum Car Care works to limit the expense of auto repair bills, roadside assistance, rental coverage, and towing. Their number is 1-800-824-9762. That is 1-800-824-9762. Once again, that is 1-800-824-9762. Maximum Car Care is a proud sponsor of the Caiden Cowger program.
You're listening to the WCNR News Network, where America comes to talk.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Caiden Cowger program. Great to have you with us. So anyway, I'm on Twitter, and I see this interesting story. I'm on Twitter, and I see that David Duke is trending. And I'm thinking, what in the world is he trending again for? For those of you who don't know who David Duke is, he is that KKK leader that everyone was making a big deal about because he endorsed Donald Trump. And Donald Trump repudiated his endorsement, said that he didn't want it. He didn't want David Duke's endorsement. And Mike Pence said the same exact thing. Well, anyway, Mike Pence was on CNN on the Situation Room with Wolf Blitzer. And while he was on there, he was asked if David Duke is a deplorable because David Duke was endorsing Donald Trump. So he asked Mike Pence, Wolf Blitzer did, ask Mike Pence if David Duke would be a deplorable and if the KKK people supporting Donald Trump were deplorables. And Mike Pence would not engage in name-calling, and because he wouldn't engage in that, all these headlines are popping up everywhere. For example, like one from thinkprogress.org, Mike Pence refuses to say that former KKK leader David Duke is deplorable. And in the CNN interview, Mike Pence said very, very clearly that he did not support David Duke and they did not want David Duke's endorsement. So we have the audio bit here for you. I want to go ahead and play it. This is Mike Pence on the Situation Room with Wolf Blitzer. It took place yesterday. Go ahead.
Said there are supporters, and you know this, there are some supporters of Donald Trump and Mike Pence who, like David Duke, for example, some other white nationalists, who would fit into that category of deplorables, right?
Well, as I've told you the last time I was on, I'm not really sure why the media keeps dropping David Duke's name. Donald Trump has denounced David Duke repeatedly. Yeah. We don't want his support, and we don't want the support of people who think like him. So you call him a deplorable? You would call him no, I don't. I'm not in the name-calling business, Wolf. You know me better than that. What Hillary Clinton did.
See, right there is where they ended. Yeah, that's what took place. So because Mike Pence is a very honorable person and is a gentleman, he did not engage in calling David Duke a deplorable because basically what CNN was doing here is that they were trying to make it out like, well, see, there are deplorables that are part of your campaign. Half of the people are deplorable. Half the people are members of the KKK. Okay, so is CNN insinuating here that half of Donald Trump's supporters are KKK members? Because, guys, I would like to bring your memory back to an article that was released on April 26, 2016, this year, from the Washington Times. A KKK leader proudly endorsed Hillary Clinton and gave $20,000 to her campaign. Now listen to this. This is from the Washington Times, April 26, 2016. Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign has received more than $20,000 in donations contributed by members of the Ku Klux Klan, a prominent member of the hate group said on Monday. For the KKK, Clinton is our choice, said Will Quigg, California Grand Dragon for the Loyal White Knights. Mr. Quigg is a leader of the Klan's California chapter and announced last month that he had abandoned supporting any Republican candidate in lieu of his likely Democratic opponent, Hillary Clinton. So he wanted to support her. The Klansman claims that members have raised more than $20,000 for Mrs. Clinton, and have donated it anonymously to her campaign. She is friends with the Klan, Mr. Quigg told Vocative. A lot of people don't realize that. Clinton campaign spokesman Josh Schwinn disputed the Grand Dragon's claim and said that former Secretary of State has rejected the group's endorsement. Right, sure, whatever. So they rejected it too. But hey, you still have a KKK leader, a Grand Dragon, California Grand Dragon for crying out loud, guys, that endorsed Hillary Clinton, and they've, just said, oh, well, we reject that. And what happens? What has taken place? Oh, the news media, they just completely forget about that. So, the real question here is that would Will Quigg be considered a deplorable by the Clinton campaign? Is she a deplorable? Or is he a deplorable? So I guess that would mean that you have deplorables by Hillary's own standards. You have deplorables that are supporting Hillary's campaign. And the thing that I want to know is, why hasn't the news media been so hard on Clinton for receiving an endorsement from Will Quigg and receiving over $20,000 in donations from that organization. Why have they not been critical of Hillary for that? Have they returned those endorsements? Have they returned that money that was given by all that support? No, of course not. They're not going to return that. Of course, some of it was donated anonymously, but if I was a member of the Clinton campaign, I'd be trying to find out what exactly where exactly that money was coming from. But of course, they really aren't known from taking donations from the best of people, considering that a lot of their money that's funding the Clintons has been funding the Clintons for years, comes from places like Saudi Arabia. So they really don't care. Anti-gay, racist people, anti-Semites, they've accepted donations from them in the past. So that's no big deal, receiving money from the KKK. And the news media, of course, doesn't hold Hillary Clinton to the same standards. So the thing that you really need to ask Hillary next time that you guys in the media get a chance to interview her, ask her if she considers Will Quigg to be a deplorable, because he proudly endorsed her. And guys, another thing that I want to ask you, and that should be asked to Hillary Clinton, is former senator from West Virginia, Senator Robert C. Byrd. Is he a deplorable? Because he was a KKK member. And, I was listening to Bill Clinton's eulogy thing that he was delivering. And when he was in West Virginia, he was talking about, not many people know this, but the only reason why Robert C. Byrd, why he was a member of the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan, why he was a leader of it, is because he had to be a part of that in order to run for an office in West Virginia. And I'm thinking, you're seriously calling West Virginia racist? We are a state that was founded upon the abolition of slavery. But yeah, calling us racist. That's what Bill Clinton was doing. And so basically, Robert C. Byrd wasn't racist. But West Virginians are, so that's why he was a member of the KKK. Also, despite him, calling some people white N-words on national television, really reflecting our state very well, isn't it? And I say that sarcastically. We're not racist here. Most of us aren't anyway. Overwhelming majority of us aren't. But guys, I'm just going to tell you, it's so absolutely pathetic. It really is. And considering that Hillary looked at why do I keep saying Donald Trump? Considering that Hillary kept looking at Robert C. Byrd as being one of her highly favored mentors, or whatever you want to say, I think that clearly reveals that this woman is rooted in racism. She has more connections to the Ku Klux Klan than Donald Trump. And that's just the way that it is. I mean, you have Robert C. Byrd, you have Will Quigg. Hillary Clinton has more connections to the KKK than Donald Trump. I mean, David Duke isn't even, all that. He doesn't know Donald Trump. Hillary Clinton, yeah, she knew Robert C. Byrd, recognized him as being a mentor. I mean, for crying out loud, her husband attended his funeral, and like I said, he was saying, well, the only reason he was a member of the KKK is not because he's racist. No. It's because it's the only way for him to get anywhere in politics in West Virginia. It's calling all West Virginians racist. And they wonder why they are not going to get her vote. But that's seriously what he said. Well, you can be, you don't have to be racist and be part of the KKK. What are you talking about? It's just a popular thing to do. Man, if you are joining the Ku Klux Klan, an organization that hates blacks, and you're justifying that, first of all, what type of person are you to justify somebody doing that? And the second thing is, what type of person is a person that's joining the KKK just to advance politically? I mean, if running for a political office means violating your moral standards, which joining the KKK should be a clear violation of your moral standards. I mean, I don't care if everybody in my state's racist, which they're not. We are not a racist state in West Virginia, okay? Like I said, we were founded on abolishing slavery. Abraham Lincoln signed us into statehood. The thing that really gets me here is that how in the world can you justify somebody belonging to the KKK saying, oh, that person's not racist, they were never racist, they're just a popular thing to do, and then turn around and criticize Donald Trump because he got some stupid endorsement from David Duke, a guy he doesn't even want.
Caiden Cowger. Keeping America straight.
You're listening to Caiden Cowger on the WCNR News Network.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
If you've ever been looking for a way to invest your money, gold can be a very good investment. Let me tell you about our friends at Capital Gold Group. Capital Gold Group is one of the best companies in the business dealing with gold and other precious metals. They have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau and can offer spectacular information on investing in gold. All you have to do is call 1-800-932-4108, and they will give you the knowledge that you need to make an investment. Even if you've just been curious about purchasing gold, this is a great group that can provide you with reliable information. Call 1-800-932-4108 and also ask them about some of their ebooks, such as 10 Shocking Reasons Why You Should Buy Gold and the Definitive Gold Guide. These resources are great for anyone, especially those that are just curious about investing. Call 1-800-932-4108. And some of their products that they offer are quite amazing. I mean, they have the gold bars, they have the gold coins, but they also have this thing called a Valcambi bar. And this is basically just a little bar about the size of a credit card that can fit into your wallet, made up of little grams of gold. So anytime that you just want a gram of gold, you just break one of them off. It's really quite neat. So by all means, contact our friends at Capital Gold Group. Call 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108. Once again, that is 1-800-932-4108.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls, start saving thousands in interest and fees, and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1132. 800-826-1132. That's 800-826-1132. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends at Capital Gold Group. Capital Gold Group is a company that deals with investing in precious metals such as gold and silver. They've been in business for over a decade and have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. They've been featured on Fox News, Market Watch, Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal, CNBC, Reuters, Fox Business, Financial Times, and Forbes magazine. If you're interested, you can call at 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108. They also offer various ebooks on investing in gold, such as the Definitive Gold Guide. So once again, if you're interested, you can call 1-800-932-4108. That's 1-800-932-4108. Due to a decline in the economy and major car companies filing for bankruptcy, American Auto Protection has announced an extended service plan that is now available to the general public. This plan reduces the cost of auto repair expenses. Maximum Car Care was created to assist qualifying car owners with lowering repair bills of cars under 130,000 miles and under 12 years old. Maximum Car Care works to limit the expense of auto repair bills, roadside assistance, rental coverage, and towing. Their number is 1-800-824-9762. That is 1-800-824-9762. Once again, that is 1-800-824-9762. Maximum Car Care is a proud sponsor of the Caiden Cowger program. All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends at the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja is a company that specializes in slashing debt. They deal with various debt problems such as student loan debt, tax debt, debt settlement, debt consolidation, credit repair services, and bankruptcy. That is 1-800-826-1132. Now, their company, the Debt Ninja, operates on a national level and have worked to fight the IRS for many of their clients. If you're interested, you can call at 1-800-826-1132. 1132. That is 1-800-826-1132. Once again, that is 1-800-826-1132.
You're listening to the WCNR News Network, where America comes to talk.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
Alrighty-dighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. That was corny. Okay, we're going to get back to what we have going on here. But I think that's a very good point. Is Hillary going to denounce Will Quigg? Is Will Quigg a deplorable that's supporting Hillary Clinton? Because Will Quigg, I can't pronounce his name, is supporting Hillary Clinton, does that mean that half of Hillary Clinton's supporters are baskets of deplorables? I think it does. Does it not? Yeah. Just a bunch of deplorables all participating in this election process. I mean, for crying out loud, if you add up half of Hillary Clinton's basket of deplorables and you add up half of Donald Trump's basket of deplorables, you have half of America that is nothing but baskets of deplorables. We are a horrible country. That's according to Hillary Clinton anyway, not me personally. I personally think there's hope for America, and I also believe that the overwhelming majority of America, they're not composed of racists, okay? I tell you, Hillary is such a piece of work. Sometimes finding the correct way to describe her in the most evilest of forms is a challenge for me. And I understand that I said most evilest. Yeah, you remember that. Anyway, guys, another thing that we have here is apparently, let me find where did that article go? If I can, show's going to be over by the time that I get to it. You have another thing here that this is reported from Politico. You have the former DNC chairman that is calling for a plan to deal with Hillary Clinton. And I'll read you the subheadline here. It says, it's extremely unlikely that Democrats will have to change a ticket, but even some Clinton allies are saying that there should be a clear process. So in other words, if Hillary ends up not being able to fulfill that role, what are they going to do? And I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen. I think that Joe Biden's going to jump in. And a friend of mine, Steve, I've got to give credit where credit is due, Stephen Limbaugh, another great, wonderful guy. Had him on the show a few times, a magnificent pianist. The guy's wonderfully talented. But anyway, he was talking about this on his Facebook account, and he had made a remark. Yeah, I think that it's going to come down to Trump versus Joe Biden. And that could very well take place. I wouldn't doubt him a minute because, the not doubting me thing goes along in the Limbaugh family. So I mean, it's, that could very well take place where Joe Biden jumps into the race because Hillary can't fulfill the tasks. I could see that, and a lot of other people could as well. And I'd even said before, you might want to look for Joe Biden to jump in the race. I was back in the primaries. He didn't do that. But one thing that I also told you was that Joe Biden, and this was my theory, Joe Biden will jump into the race if Hillary Clinton is indicted. And I thought that he would. And Hillary was not indicted, so therefore he didn't jump in. But this is a new thing that's happening with the health crisis that's going on. If Hillary cannot physically hold office, Joe Biden could jump in again. And the reason why I said, I remind you this, the reason why I said that Joe Biden will not jump into the race to combat Hillary Clinton is because it would divide the party. You'd have a lot of people that are supporting Biden, and then you'd have other people that are supporting Clinton. And Biden did not want to look like the bad guy running against Hillary Clinton, who is running to be the first woman president. So he wants to be the uniter of both the Bernie Sanders supporters and the Hillary Clinton supporters, jumping into the race to be, the next savior of the Democratic Party that is nothing but an old white guy like Debbie Wasserman Schultz used to always eloquently express, referring to the Republican Party. So that's what we have going on here. According to Politico, former Democratic National Committee chairman says that President Barack Obama and the party's congressional leaders should immediately come up with a process to identify a potential successor for candidate Hillary Clinton, for the off chance of a health emergency that forces her out of the race. So there you go. Democrats are concerned. They really are. And, guys, I'm just going to tell you this, too. When you mess with God's people, you call them nothing but a bunch of deplorables, and you make an a huge effort to combat Christianity in America, God takes his hand of protection off of you, and that could very well be what we're seeing with Hillary Clinton. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you for listening to us tonight. For more information on the Caiden Cowger program, go to CaidenCowgerProgram.com. And for the latest news exposing the left, go to CowgerNation.com. Thank you, God bless, and God save this nation.